Hi everyone, welcome and thanks for tuning in. So before we dive into the Abyss, a quick reminder on the fitting. I'm running low-grade Asclepians in the clone, together with a couple of +3s to help out with DPS. I'm using a Exile booster to help with the repping, and then a Crash booster to help out with the applied DPS. From the fitting, you can see it on the screen. There's nothing really difficult about this one. However, I do have two Abyssal Ballistic Control Systems. These are better than the Kaldari Navy ones, while being cheaper. You have quite a bit of fitting space, so it's worthwhile looking at the Mutaplasmid side and find a couple of cheap Ballistic Control Systems that are actually better than the Navy or the Faction ones. With that, let's dive in and see what we're gonna get in the Abyss today. I'm still getting used to the Muninn, but so far it's been really good in the tier 5s. Alright, what we're gonna get in the first room. We are getting the Teslas. This is a pretty easy spawn. It does depend on the composition though. Because it can be a little bit tough on the tank, depending if they're hitting your lowest resistance. However, the spawn is pretty easy if you switch over to faction ammo. It's a pretty quick spawn from that perspective, especially if there's a short range deviant automated suppressor nearby. I'm looking at it now, as you can see, but it's pretty far out, so I decided to just shoot the drones myself. However, they are already taking damage, which obviously helps quite a bit. They have low armor, so I think the best is Mjolnir for using as faction ammo, but really, you know, everything works. They've got so low EHP that most of the ammo is fine if you go for faction ammo. This room is a good one to use for an MTU as well. I'm not using an MTU all that much. I always tend to lose them, but this would be a good one to go for. As you can see, I just keep the Repper on. I keep the AB on. The fit is kept stable, so it's pretty easy to just, you know, move around and take the rats out, as you can see. And again, it's a very quick room. I think this is like 2 or 3 minutes, so very quick. The second room are the Tesseras, which are a little bit more difficult, as in they do a ton of damage if they are very close to you. So the priority is always going to be snare casters. You can see I'm looking those up first and then just, you know, making a guess what I want to go for afterwards. But yeah, take the webbing drones out, the snare casters, as soon as you can. Because you want to be able to keep range from the Tesseras, because if they all pile onto you, you're going to have a bad time. So take those down first, and then the important thing is just to keep moving. Apply your webs. You can use Rage or T2 ammo very well. From a resistance profile, either Mjolnir or Nova are the best. But again, you know, this ship has quite a bit of DPS for a tier 5. So you'll not run out of time, you know, independent of which rage ammo type you use. But yeah, the best one would be Mjolnir or Nova. As you can see, I'm still trying to work out what works best from either a resistance or approach perspective. But yeah, the key thing is just to stay away from them as much as you can. You can obviously tank a few of them, but not the initial spawn. You can see I'm doing very well on the tank. And again, it's kept stable, so just keep everything running. Don't take any chances in case you get disconnected and those kind of things as well. I decided to orbit at 10, just to make sure that I can keep the webs on and apply as much DPS as I can. But yeah, you can manually pilot as well. Either way works. And again, a MTU would be a good one for this one if you use your drones to take out the nodes. However, be careful that they don't start chasing your drones, because then obviously they will be out of range. The key thing with the Muninn is it has very bad range. Rage ammo only does 17 kilometers. So this is the main thing I'm needing to get adjusted from using a Cerberus, which has a ton of range compared to the Muninn. But again, this is a pretty cheap setup for running tier 5s in a very stable manner without much risk. If you don't take into account any gankers. The third spawn is the Drifter spawn with Karen. You can keep using your rage ammo here. Again, doesn't matter which type for this particular spawn because of their resistances. The priority is per usual, neuters first and then the webifiers. It does depend on the amount. If there's only like 1 or 2 null charges in the spawn, I could actually go for the entanglements first because I don't want to get webbed and get the wrecking shot of Karen. The wrecking shot is less intimidating for this ship, at least in the tier 5s from Karen. It takes you to about 40-50% armor, which again, if it's, you know, your armor cycle is just starting, it could be bad, but if you usually if you're mid-cycle or anything, right, you'll be able to wrap up pretty quickly. I'll try to find a room where I get hit by a wrecking shot in the future, but yeah, it's not as bad as with the Cerberus where it takes all of your shield out. But again, the cycle times obviously of the shield booster are quicker, so you know, comparing, you know, apples to apples is not really the case here because of the cycle times, but again, shouldn't be too big of an issue. But yeah, once you've done the neuters or taken out the neuters and the webfires, go for Karen straight away. She does come in close quite easily, so yeah, just web and orbit very close by. Use your drones as much as you can to have additional DPS, and again, use rage ammo. The reason to go for Karen is, you know, in case he's quite a bit out of the gate, you want to take that down first and allow you to travel either to a cache or a node while you take down the remainder of the spawn. For my demos, I'm not really using an MTU that much or at all, and I'm only going for the caches, but you can see from a time perspective you have more time to go for anything else or use an MTU, but it's up to you once you get more used to the spawns as well, and what you want to do. Yeah, so I'm just cleaning up the room. Not a massive amount of loot, but not too bad as well. And that's really it. So thanks again for listening and watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will catch you at the next one. But bye bye for now.